Hello guys, welcome to Gongura Guidance. My name is Subhash and this is my second video of my series in which I'm going to cover ethics as quickly as possible. What I want to specifically tell you is uh, what this is actually not. This is not some explanation video. You won't be getting any explanation from me. There are many other people who are better at explaining. Please read basic books and search for any good lecturers who can do that. If you are basically lacking in conceptual clarity, I won't be giving that. What I'll be doing is basically giving you a direction as to how to quickly cover syllabus as quickly as possible. Uh, if you're going to give 2024 attempt, your main target should be to finish at least your ethics and essay and your optional by December 2023, this year itself. Before December ending, you have to finish these three things: ethics, essay, and optional, so that you are in a better position to finally clear the whole UPSC exam and not just get stuck, clear prelims and get stuck in the mains part. So what I'll be doing is to quickly cover the syllabus. I'll be showing you what the syllabus actually says and how to make your notes aligning with the syllabus, and analyze some PYQs so that you are able to exactly know which kind of questions UPSC will ask, and you are able to better be ready for the actual. I'll be discussing few answers and structuring them also, and finally I'll be also showing you few toppers copies so that we can analyze the latest trend, because every year toppers are coming up with new innovative ideas which you can actually incorporate in your answers and be aligned with the latest trends. So let's straight away jump into the video, and in this video I'll be covering a most neglected aspect of ethics. Usually people are thinking about values or qualities of civil servant, or ethics in general, or emotional intelligence, and many other topics, but there is one uh, subtopic which you can say which is not clearly mentioned in the syllabus, but questions definitely come from them, and it is actually helpful for you in your essay also, and the topic is emotions. So it is not clearly specified in any part of the syllabus. It is part of emotional intelligence only. Basically, emotional intelligence comes when once you understand what are the basic emotions that we experience and what are their positives and what are their negatives, then you will be better able to realize how emotional intelligence helps in actually trying to navigate through those emotions when they actually occur. So basic understanding of emotions is also necessary to have emotional intelligence. So this is part of emotional intelligence only, but kind of like a subtopic. If I have to show you the questions on emotions, uh, most favorite emotions, there are actually 6 emotions which are talked by Paul Ekman, which I will be later on telling you. But 2 are very most important for UPSC. They are anger and happiness. These 2 are very much important. They have asked themes on these 2 things on numerous essays, ethics questions, and even in case studies when you have to actually persuade either your team or someone who is angry, someone like your senior. There are many case studies which I'll be talking about in case studies. These 2 emotions are basically stressed by UPSC. So if you see in 2014, there is one question on anger. uh, in 2016 there is a question on anger. In 2014 there is a question on happiness. So let's identify those key emotions which UPSC is trying to basically ask in 10 markers especially. See the 2014 question: all human beings aspire for happiness. Do you agree? What does happiness mean to you? Explain with examples. So basically there are 2 parts to this question. One is every human being aspires for happiness, whether you agree it or not. UPSC is asking it. So you have to basically define what is happiness, why all human beings agree. Do all human beings aspire for happiness? Yes or no in those lines. And what does happiness mean to you personally? What does happiness mean to you? Happiness is not a one universal thing which can be defined. Happiness differs from each and every individual. For some, material success might be happiness. For some, intellectual success might be happiness. For some, pursuing passion might be happiness. For some, helping others or doing charity and such things might be happiness. What does happiness mean to you? This is what UPSC is asking, and you have to explain it through examples. So this is the 2014 question. And in 2016, UPSC has asked on anger. Anger is a harmful negative emotion. It is injurious to both personal life and work life. So you have to discuss how it is injurious to both personal life and how it is injurious to work life also. You have to clearly demarcate in the answer. Keep subheadings for both personal life and work life. And you have, in the starting, you have to define what is anger also, which we will be later on covering in this. I'll show you in my from my notes. And the first part of the question discuss how it leads to negative emotions and undesirable behaviors. Again, you have to clearly demarcate into how it leads to other negative emotions also. So you need to know what are the positive emotions and what are the negative emotions out of the basic emotions, and how anger leads to those negative emotions. This is what UPSC is asking. And from the negative emotions, how it translates into undesirable behavior also. You have to show this, and how it can be managed and controlled. Basically, it is asking you how to manage your negative emotions and control them. So basically, the main topic of EI comes in. EI is emotional intelligence is what actually teaches you how to manage your emotions in your personal relationships, within yourself and in other relationships. So the EI comes in the second part, B part. If we examine the 2018 question, what does this quotation mean to you? This is from the quotation part. Even in the quotes wala questions, they are asking these emotions: anger and intolerance. Intolerance is basically opposite of a value. Value is tolerance, which all people should aspire for. So intolerance is lack of that value, and it is a quality, negative quality. So one part is emotion and one part is negative quality, which UPSC is trying to explore. Anger and intolerance are the enemies of correct understanding. This is a quote by Mahatma Gandhi. So how half of this part of this question is actually dealing with one emotion, that is anger, and how anger is the enemy of correct understanding. So if you want to have basic correct understanding or holistic perspective or think clearly, anger is an enemy of it. So if you are angry, you are unable to think clearly. So this is what even EI tries to explore. When you are angry or facing this rush of emotions, how you are able to be self-aware. All those 5 components: self-aware, self other components such as empathy, so maintaining social relationships, motivation, all those things you have to talk about. And the other part is intolerance. So you have to that. So these are the questions on emotions from which UPSC have previously asked. So when you are making notes, maintain in such a way that keep definitions with you in handy, so that without thinking you are able to directly straight away start away the question by defining the key emotion which is being explored in the question. Basically, you have to remember that you have to finish any 10 marker within 7.5 minutes, and it is very difficult to write it in that specific 7.5 minutes time limit unless you have ready tools with you to quickly finish it. If you are thinking it and writing it, it will definitely take 10 minutes. So you don't have that luxury of affording 2.5 minutes extra for 110 marker. You have to have definitions handy. You have to have examples in handy. You have to have this framework in handy, which you will be using in writing answers also. You will have to have definition for basic emotions. There are 6 basic emotions by Paul Ekman. Uh, but later on have been expanded to many others also, but there are 6 basic things, and UPSC's favorite are happiness and anger, as I've shown you in previous year questions. And you need to know the importance of those emotions and how you can what the utility also, how you can use them in your personal life and your public life, and the drawbacks of the negative emotions and the consequences, like just like how the UPSC has asked. See this question, the 2016 question: how it leads to negative emotions and undesirable behaviors. Basically, what the question is trying to ask is the negatives and consequences So you have to prepare your notes also in the same exact line. You have to have importance, you have to have utility, you have to have drawback, you have to have consequence, and how to manage and control. This was also asked in question. How can it be managed and controlled? If you prepare your notes in these lines for all the six basic emotions, and especially happiness and anger, you will be able to better deal with the question within the stipulated time of 7.5 minutes. Otherwise you will think and write, and if you're thinking and write, it will definitely take you 10 or more than 10 minutes. So these two questions are already asked in the previous years. So these two questions have become of ultimate importance, and if you have to go one step further, you can cover all the other four emotions also. And as I've already showed, this the importance of this particular subtopic is one 10 marker can come, and you can also use what you have learned here in case studies, especially on persuasion. There are many case studies where you have to persuade your senior who is always angry, or you have to persuade your subordinates who are unwilling to accommodate the work. There are and other case studies also, and especially even in essays there are many essays such as I am unable to exactly remember right now, but there are many essays which deal with these emotions of happiness and anger. Simplicity is joy, and many essays are there. So I'll be basically showing you how I made my notes before my preparation. Keep the definition of Paul Ekman in handy. It is a biological state of mind evoked from beliefs, and it is an affective state of consciousness. There are behavioral component, affective component, and cognitive component. This comes in the affective part, affective state of consciousness. And make sure you write Paul Ekman in definition itself, so that your answer stands apart from other people's answer. And make sure to by heart this definition: biological state of mind evoked from beliefs, and it comes in the affective state of consciousness. And make sure to write the name of Paul Ekman also. So basically there are six basic emotions which have been later expanded to many others. The six basic ones are sadness, happiness, surprise, anger, disgust, and fear. These are the six basic emotions, and later on they have been expanded to many other like kindness, contempt, many others are there. So basically one more important point which you have to write is emotions are basically a play of chemicals according to modern science. And those four chemicals which play a key role in evoking our emotions are dose. You can remember them as dose. They are dopamine, oxytocin, endorphin, and serotonin. So basically dopamine helps you in motivation, learning, pleasure. It activates the positive emotions within oneself. And the oxytocin chemical also evokes the feelings of trust, evokes the feelings of love, evokes the feelings of friendship, evokes the feelings of the bonding in relationships. All those come from oxytocin. And serotonin gets released when you are actually hyper and unable to be in majorly in fight or flight response. Serotonin actually calms the body from that higher state of active consciousness. And finally endorphins get released when you actually work out. Endorphins give you euphoria to mask the pain, stress, anxiety, and depression. Whenever this is why people suggest you to frequently work out or do something such that some physical activity such that your body releases these endorphins. It will actually mask the pain, stress, anxiety, and depression. These four chemicals play a huge role in evoking emotions. And you can use this diagram also whenever emotional intelligence or emotion related topic comes. If you are working for emotions, it is called as emotional hijacking, because you are being overwhelmed by the emotions and they overtake you. But if you are so emotionally intelligent that you are making emotions work for you, then it is called a higher emotional intelligence. You can use you can use the definition, you can use the definition given by Paul Ekman. You can use these emotions, you can use the chemicals in your answer, you can use this diagram also. So such kind of things you should have things ready in handy, so that you are not able to waste time in the examination hall thinking on how to deal with questions. So basically have definition of anger in handy. This is a negative emotion characterized by antagonism towards someone or something you feel has deliberately done you wrong. Don't think and write the definition by heart it beforehand in itself before going to the examination hall. And since it is a negative emotion, you need to have an idea of some positive aspects of anger also. Always anger is not a negative thing, especially examples of Virat Kohli, how he uses anger to evoke efficiency within himself, how anger can be helpful for oneself, helpful for family, helpful for nation, helpful for society. And apart from it, you need to know negative consequences also, as I have already shown. You have to make notes for each and especially these two emotions in this manner: importance, utility, drawbacks, consequences, management, and control, for both happiness and anger. So you can see a bit from my notes. If you feel anything is a bit helpful to you, you can extract it. I'll be posting this in the description only. And apart from this, see the definition of happiness also. It is a state of mind with feelings of positive and pleasant emotions ranging from content to intense joy. Please by heart these definitions. Don't think and write. It will waste a lot of time. Some key aspects which you can keep handy before itself is the idea of carpe diem, which is given by a thinker Horace. It means seize the moment. Whenever you are being present in the moment, it is happiness, according to Horace. And there is a Japanese concept of ikigai also. You can use such specific concepts and theories such as Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Basically, Maslow also says that happiness differs differently to each person. If their basic needs are only not fulfilled, they are unable to think about psychological needs. They are unable to think about self-fulfillment needs, which are higher needs. So happiness differs from each stage also where you are actually lying in the hierarchy. And some quotes like Gandhi, some quotes from Vedas, I've collected and kept it in my notes. You can, if you feel it can help you, you can actually extract from them. So basically, I'll be showing you what a key points of what a good answer on emotion should have. Firstly, it should have definition. It should have an example, one good example, one bad example. One good example of anger can be Virat Kohli using it during his play. One bad example can be of Anguli Mala from Buddha, or any other example which you feel. Please have good examples and bad examples handy so that you are not thinking and writing. You are by hearted them, and straight away you don't waste time. And you can use one point as emotions are play of chemicals. This will make your answer specific. You can write, just as we have prepared notes, you can show the positive aspect of emotions, you can show the negative aspect of emotions. You can use one point from emotional intelligence, how to manage and control. This is what specifically even UPSC is asking. And some thinkers you can use quotes by Kant, quotes by Aristotle, quotes by Gandhi, Paul Ekman, which I've already kept in my notes. Some quotes and some concepts of these people. So after this, let's see some toppers copies, how they are attempting questions on emotions. This is the toppers copy of Wasim Bhatt. He's among the top 10 rankers of 2022. The question is, I learned that courage was not absence of fear, but triumph over it. The brave man is not who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers fear. So fear is basically a negative emotion. What Nelson Mandela is trying to say is that having courage, which is a virtue, which is a desirable quality, is not absence of emotion, which is absence of fear. So rather than absence of fear, what courage is actually who does not feel afraid, but who conquers that fear. You have to conquer that negative emotion through emotional intelligence or any other aspect. So without the definition of fear, without the definition of courage, without showing how overcoming fear you can actually lead to courage, all those have to be explored in it. Let's see how the topper has written this answer. The given statement by Nelson Mandela explains that what it means to be courageous. So one suggestion which I want to give is, this whole sentence is a generic statement which does not add or fetch any marks to you. You can avoid such statements unless you have time. But usually in ethics paper there will be a paucity of time. This is a generic statement, and this statement you can usually avoid. You can straight away start with definition of either courage or fear. Courage does not mean courage does not mean a person does not have any fear, but it means a person has conquered his fear by facing and dealing with them. This is what the exact quote is trying to say. Why does courage mean absence of fear? absence of he's trying to explore the consequences of absence of fear and how courage is exactly what it is. Sorry, why does courage not mean absence of fear? Yeah, he is trying to explore the first part of the question. That is, it is not absence of an emotion, that is fear, but it is conquering the emotion. This is what he's trying to explain here. Absence of fear is likely to make person reckless rather than virtuous. So if there is absence of fear, there is some negative things also, that is which is not exactly courage. This is what he's trying to, he's writing one point, he's giving one example. He's writing one point and one example, and he's trying to explore the other option also. Basically, I think this answer can be improved. What I want you to do for such an answers is, in the straight away in the intro, define courage, define fear, and how fear is only an emotion which every people experience it. Courage and what courage means, it which is exactly not the opposite of not having emotions, but to overcome the emotions through emotional intelligence or any other aspects. And let's see his conclusion. The courage is a virtue, as argued by Aristotle, that individual needs to carefully cultivate in a virtuous life. So this is also a generic conclusion. You can use some of the quotes from the notes that I have provided. Uh, Please collect quotes beforehand so that you can use them in the answers, such as few quotes which I have collected for happiness is when what you think, what you say and do are in harmony. This is by Gandhi. In Vedas there is Sarve Jana Sukhino Bhavantu, may everyone live happily. There is this concept of eudaimonia by Aristotle, which is a complete state of blissful and happiness. That also you can use. You can use Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You can use Horace Carpe Diem or Japanese concept of Ikigai. These are all for happiness which I have collected. Similarly, I have collected few for anger. For this specific question, you can use the quotes of fear. One by Socrates, one by Gandhi. One is not wise who fears for his life. Or non-violence, violence. There is this quote on quote from Gandhi who says that I prefer violence only when the option left is cowardice or something like that. You actually search in Google and see. He prefer the first most important priority for Gandhi is non-violence, and second to that he prefers violence, and the least that he prefers is cowardice. There is one quote on basically which is talking about fear. So have quotes beforehand, and make sure that you are using all these things in your answer, especially on emotions. And finishing thoughts, I just want to make you understand that if you are going to give 2024 attempt, if especially if you are from general category, unless you finished ethics essay and optional, please do not give the attempt. Otherwise you will be just be clearing prelims and be stuck in the cycle of mains. So please finish these things before December 31st, or you can extend. If you are confident on prelims, you can extend for 1 or 2 months also, but not more than that. And after watching this video, I have not explained the basic conceptual clarity of what emotions are, what anger is, what cowardice is, what courage is, what happiness is. I've just shown you how to prepare your notes. So do not watch this video and stop. Actually, immediately use it. Make your notes straight away on the PYQ lines, on the syllabus lines, and immediately read and revise it and do by heart. You have to by heart in this mains exam. You don't get time to actually think and write. Everyone who clears prelims actually has basic conceptual clarity, and if given sufficient time they can write very good answers. But the key difference between toppers and other people who qualify prelims and get stuck in mains is lies in this part, especially, or this part. Either they'll by heart whatever they are making the notes, or they'll make mnemonics so that they are quickly able to think and write quickly. So, and write answers only after reading and revising. and you make sure that you are writing in 7.5 minutes, and compare your what you are writing the framework with toppers copy, how they are keeping headings, how they are dividing it into parts, how they are writing 1 point and 1 substantiation, 1 point 1 substantiation. Do all this. So basically, in the next video, I'll be covering ethics and human interface. Uh, I plan to finish whole ethics theory in 10 videos, but there are many subtopics which need attention. So the theory part I'll be covering in 15 to 20 videos, and ethics case studies there are basically four or five themes only. So I'll be covering in 3 or 4 videos. That's it from my side. Do not simply watch this video and leave it there itself. Finish your notes, read and revise, and by heart immediately within the next 1 or 2 days. Don't leave don't leave the video after watching it. Thank you.